Hi everyone, I'm Skylar Akamesis, one of the directors at PandoraStar, and today we're going to talk about stress and how relaxation heals the body or allows your body to get on with healing itself. So stress, whether it's the science or the spiritual community or the psychiatrists, they all say the same thing. Stress is pretty much the root of all disease. It affects everything through epigenetics. It affects our genes, it affects our mental health, and it affects our physical health. Now, a little bit of stress is good for you. It builds your immune system, it builds your body, and it builds your mind. But a lot of stress, a lot of chronic stress that contributes to overwhelm, actually causes severe health issues and mental health problems long run. And it also causes physical issues. So I'm going to explain a little bit about how that happens and then show you how you can use the light entrainment device to help bring deep relaxation to the physical body as well as the mental and emotional bodies. So when we're stressed, we tense up. It's not even conscious. There are some muscles that we move consciously, but there are many, especially the ones around the gut, around the liver, inside your jaw, the vagus nerve, that operate completely through the subconscious mind. Now, when we're stressed and we tense, particularly if we feel like we're under attack or we're having an argument or we step out onto the street too soon and we nearly get run over by a car, the whole body moves into flight. It tenses so that it can kind of gather up that potential energy so that when you run or when you flee or when you fight, you have this release of energy as you move forwards. The issue is that most of our modern day stressors create all that potential energy and that tension, but then there's no release. My theta healing teacher and colleague, Anna Kitney, she's got a really amazing gazelle story. So if you think about there being a little gazelle running around in the African savannah, it's a really happy gazelle and just prancing along, and then suddenly the lion jumps out and the gazelle runs and runs and runs and runs and runs and runs and runs, and then another lion jumps out and he almost catches the gazelle, and the gazelle barely escapes, and then it runs and runs and runs and runs and runs and runs and runs, and then finally it realizes, oh my God, I'm alive, I've lost the lions, and it stops. And what you'll see the gazelle's body start to do is the whole of the gazelle's body is going to start to shake, 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 just like dogs do when they come out of the water and they go, and they just shake all of that cold off. Now that shaking is not just a weird thing animals do. It's not an involuntary spasm. That shaking is a primal recalibration of their nervous system. So when they're shaking, it's literally their way of completing a trauma. It's a way of saying it's over, it's no longer needed, there are no lions anymore. And that's why you see no gazelle on the African savannah with a lion phobia. And it's why you see very few dogs with a water phobia. Because animals don't do phobias because they know how to recalibrate their nervous system. It's only when humans interfere with them in laboratories or they live in humans in a human environment that animals develop phobias. Animals in nature do not have phobias. They have normal fears, but they don't develop mental health issues. And the reason is they know how to recalibrate their nervous system. Now, why is this so important? It's because the way that we hold stress doesn't just affect our mental health, it affects our physical health. So let's say I've had a fight with my husband, and as a result, I've tensed my heart and I've tensed my liver. Now, if I'm just squeezing my heart and liver for a couple of hours during the fight and then I relax, the oxygen, the nutrition, the blood flow that I need to get to my heart and to my liver are suddenly restored. But if I hold on to a grudge and I hold on to that argument, then that energy in my heart and in my liver is going to starve my heart and my liver of oxygen, of nutrition, and of hormones, because my thymus is going to shrink under the pressure of stress, and your thymus creates and delivers a lot of necessary hormones and chemicals to different parts of your body. Now, it's not happening to such an extent that you're going to feel like you're suffocating, but it happens in the sense that you feel more lethargic, your immune system goes down. That's why they've proved that, 1 hour of an argument can literally lower your immune system for more than 24 to 48 hours. So it's not like it's sudden death. It's more like, poisoning little by little. That's why they say being angry at somebody is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die, because it's literally you taking a little bit of oxygen deprivation and nutrition deprivation and being able to think things through clearly and recalibrate, and then you holding on to it. But now imagine it's a trauma that's a bit more severe. Let's say, that argument turns into a breakup or something like that, and you're holding on to that broken heart for weeks or months or years. that can really start to affect your heart. It can really start to affect your liver, and you won't really understand what's going on. And this is also why when you work on healing these traumas, the body often restores itself to health, and why your genetics can completely change with both diet and with trauma work. Because suddenly that tension that you were holding in that energy field and in the muscles that were gripping in your spine around your heart is released. And when that happens, this fresh flow of oxygen and food and hormones can and your immune system can suddenly get into your organ again in a healthy way, and it can recalibrate, heal, and do what it's supposed to do. It just can't do any of those things if it's still in shock or it thinks it's still happening. So this is why we need the shaking, or we need the trauma work. It's because the body doesn't have time. Time is a construct created by humans. To the body, the trauma is still happening until it's completed. And it doesn't care whether it was an argument you had last week or whether it's a fall you had when you were 10 years old and you thought you were going to die when you fell off the tree and broke your leg. What it needs to know is that it's over and you're safe. And we can get that from a hug. We can get that from shaking it off. We can get that from crying. We can get that through journaling and through writing. But the important thing is to complete these traumas so that we don't hold on to them. The journaling thing is pretty powerful. Even with army veterans with PTSD, they found that people who keep journals of their life and of their traumas in particular are over 85% more likely to make a recovery than people that don't, just because of the different neural pathways that are built with the trauma when they're engaging with it in a controlled environment and in a way that doesn't cause them pain. It's pretty powerful stuff. Art therapy and writing and journaling, they're really strong ways to heal the body and the mind, to build resilience. So the way that the light can help you with stress management is simple. It puts you into a really relaxed state of consciousness. And when that happens, especially because the light creates these amazing mandalas and colors and shapes inside your mind, you're completely focused on the present moment. You're completely focused on these beautiful colors that are showing up inside your mind. And literally that allows you to get out of the way and let your body relax and start doing its job. It allows your immune system to start communicating with the other parts of your body and start telling your body what it needs to do to repair. And it allows your blood flow and your circulation to increase so that you can carry more of the hormones, more of the nutrition, more of the oxygen to those places so that the healing can happen more rapidly. And it allows your mind to tell your body that it's safe, so now repair can begin. There's no point your immune system starting a repair if the lion's going to eat you, or if you're going to get harmed by the avalanche. You have to get out of harm's way before your body can start repairing itself. So it's the same thing with your trauma. You have to complete the trauma before your body is going to start repairing itself. And the light will really help you do that, because it's going to put you in a state where you're not worrying about keeping the images out of your mind. You're not worried about what you might remember when you relax. You're not worried about having these flashbacks or PTSD from your breakup or from, the army or from the illness you had, or the images aren't going to come because you already have your mind creating these amazing mandalas and colors and shapes. And the more you focus on the power of those sacred geometric shapes, the faster your body's healing and the less you're worrying about how it's done. And then that more powerful subconscious mind that works at 44 million bits of information per second can really come in and start clearing all that subconscious energy and memories and stuff that no longer serve you, and start programming it without causing you lots of emotional pain. So that's how stress reduction can really help with your healing, and that's how it affects your physiology and often your sleep patterns. If you enjoyed this, please feel free